In 1999, my father went missing, Almond Gene Little, and that was the last time I remember seeing him. I have, the last photo, which was this one here that I remember him taking. Um, I went on a search, to look to see if I could find him in the community, which was the north side of Houston, Texas. I didn't really come up with anything, but definitely did get some ideas and some comments on a couple of neighbors that, he could have went to the hospital or whatever. And so, of course, I looked at all of those locations. And so then in 2011, we decided to report after I had spoke with his wife about it several times, like to see if that's what she was gonna do. And I ended up having to be the one report to the missing unit department of HPD. Of course, they took DNA, and we supposed to been searching for that. And so that was 2011, and then 2025, I get a call. It was November the 5th from the detective, and the detective said that this seems to be your dad. And I was shocked. I was like, oh, wow. So, can I get back with you after she gave me, a few, details that she had? Well, actually, she said she'll get back with me within the next few days because they needed to look at the Harris County Cemetery archives because it's an old burial, just to get more information for me to agree to say, well, that's dad. And she called me on the 13th. And I agreed that that's dad. They've been out there at the Harris County Cemetery. Since 2000, they had Gene Little on the marker. And they had October the 18th, 1952, and his birthday 51, which, I say, well, that's still a good glimmer of hope when she gave me the news on the 5th that still could be him. So, of course, I went and made sure I got the, his birth certificate and it read, the correct year. But yeah, that's dad. We went to the November the 18th. Me and the family went out to do the flowers and balloon release.
What was that like? Was it like bittersweet?
It was bittersweet. That's right. Because of course, no one wants to find a loved one deceased. But I had already accepted that way back when the report 2011. I had been accepted the fact that dad wasn't here anymore. Of course, I did spiritual, search. And that was revealed to me. So I wasn't expecting to find him alive. And that's not to discourage someone else that looking for their missing loved one because cases are different. And that we do have where they do find them alive. So that's a good point. But for me, my case, I knew not to, take my mind in that direction that we will find them alive.
25 years.
25 years. In fact, 25 years, 2 months, and 10 days to be exact when we confirmed it.
What was that like for you?
It was a disaster. Like I said, it was a disaster because, of course, it was like I was missing something, like a piece of my history, And so I had to try to come up with answers, before I leave here. That was starting to be my concern because I'm 55 now. And I had made a plea with God, and I was like, well, hey, if you show me where he at, fine, and if not, fine, I would have to accept what he allow, and yeah. So yeah.
What was that like for your family?
Well, for the family, it was kind of like in the raisings of my children. It wasn't really, I was overprotective with them. They said that I acted like maybe a sergeant when it came to them to go places. I wouldn't loosely let them go, because I always carried a fear that something like that could happen to them, that they'll never come back.
You felt like if it happened to your dad.
Right. It was always like a fear of something unknown happening that would happen.
What was your dad like?
Okay, so Dad had his, his perks, and we had our ups and downs. In fact, the circumstances surrounding his disappearance was between him and his son with a drug deal that went bad.
Okay.
Right, and so my brother was murdered because of it. And that was Almond Gene Little Jr. That was June 7, 1996, on my daughter's first birthday. we got the call that he had been shot in the head through a home invasion. Almond Gene Little Jr., his son.
His son, your brother.
My brother, my half brother, because we have different moms.
Do you think was involved with your father?
Well, it was under speculations to me that the guys, possibly came back for him once we couldn't find him. Because, I didn't really feel like they hadn't arrested the guys from that anyway, so.
Could have been related,
I'm not sure.
Yeah. What was it like to see, I saw the story, the tombstone with Gene, his name on there like that?
Well, of course, the Gene Little wasn't a big shocker for me because that's what he liked it to be called Gene. He didn't like Almond for some apparent reason. Me and Mom had pieced that part together because of when they met. She knew from then that he didn't like the name Almond. So that sounds about like that, with that part. But it was still other parts that didn't really match his character. He was a street type life that he lived, So yeah.
But that was part of the confusion, the name.
Yes, the name, and then like I say, 1952 versus 1951 on the date of birth.
Well, is there any advice you would give to people out here that may be going through this situation?
Well, first of all, I want to thank the Texas Center for the Missing. With Melissa was a great help in helping us to kind of get to where we need to be with this case here. And the advice that I have for the people that still missing loved ones is to never give up. Never give up, keep the hope and keep the faith, and continue to call and just kind of give them a little pressure about searching for your loved one.
Let me ask you this, I almost asked you this a while ago. What was that like? That just happened. What was it like when you got that phone call on November 5th, out the blue?
Well, it was a bad, hard week for me between the 5th and to the 13th. Number one, it was a hard, emotional, going back and forth with, oh Lord, I hope this him. And I know that sounds strange to say that I hope that's him at the grave. But I went back and forward in my emotions. I done struggled with anxiety, fear, trust in people is just totally off, and I also seek counseling with my personal counselor, and I've been doing that for years. In fact, I had a meeting with her yesterday.
But on November 5th, you're sitting at home there, right?
Uh-huh. I was
doing your normal, explain that day to me.
Well, okay, let's just go back to the 4th. I was working the election. I worked over at the Chinese Community Center for the election as a clerk. And I got the email that day from the detective, and I was like, well, oh no, I'm not able to respond to her today, like call her, because I didn't know what the information was going to be, which is good I didn't, because I wouldn't have been able to work with the information she gave me. So I said, well, let me just email her back, and let her know I'll call her in the morning, which was November the 5th.
From the detective?
Well, yes, the email was just letting me know that she had some substantial information for me.
Out the blue?
Uh-huh. That she had some substantial information. Make sure I call her.
What were you thinking when you got that email?
Well, I kind of knew that it was something that I wasn't going to be able to handle while I was working. So that's why I emailed her back and told her, hey, well, I'll just get back with you in the morning. I'll give you a call.
And then?
I was here at the house to take the call.
So then you called, and then what?
And then she said, well, that's your father, Almond Gene Little, buried out at the Harris County Cemetery under Gene Little. Mm-hmm.
That must have been really...
And at first I was in denial. Of course, no, that's not him. Like, no, we need more proof, And I went back and forward with that for that week.
Wow. How are you now?
I'm relieved. I'm actually relieved of, because I think it's the not knowing where your loved one is that really takes a big, tremendous toll on your life, not knowing. But for me to find out, that was what I asked for, to find out where he was.
Anything else you think you need to add?
Well, like I said, of course, we as a family do have additional questions on, hey, more information on, hey, what happened prior to him getting to the hospital, or, of course we would. And but definitely being looked into as far as, you know, me having to get back with people and question or what have you.
You say you want to know what happened to him before he got to the hospital?
Right, like say for instance, what sent him there, and I do know the reason. You know, they claim it's gonna be on the death certificate once we receive it. But yeah, I want to know how he got there, like what set it off. Like, I mean, and I do remember one of his neighbors saying that my dad went to the hospital because he was turning yellowish. So I don't know.
Could have had some internal kidney stuff.
Possibility, strong possibility. Just want to thank y'all for coming out to get the story. And this is the book I wrote back in 2022, which is on Amazon for anybody that want to know additional information. And I'm looking to write the final book on it.
Where is he there? It's like he's.
We was at the park that day, at the park out in the north side area. And then we had, remember I said that this was the last photo I recall Dad taking.
Who's he with there?
That's my daughter and my son. It was around Easter time in '99, the last time I remember seeing him.
Next one?
This one here was him and my son.
How old is your son now?
My son is 37. And it's just some additional photos of Dad. Like at the funeral, it was Grandma's funeral, his mom's.
Okay.
And that's him with the graduation. Came to my graduation unexpectedly back in 1989. We spent the most of the 90s together, me and Dad. This was at my graduation, me, him, Mom, and my sister in the background. Again, that's me, my dad, and first time he met my son, his grandson. And that's us after the grandpa's, his dad's funeral. They gave him the flag. And that's him and his mom, Shedrick and Loretta, and his brother David Hilton, deceased, all of them deceased. My brother, that's my brother that was murdered, his son, Almond Gene Little,
so that's
Jr.
the one that was murdered?
Right, in the stripes. And this is at Grandma's funeral.